Exactly. I want to have special music for you. E.B. Tucker, Director of Metallo Royalty and Streaming, back on Kitco.com to spread his wisdom, life advice, energize us.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget, last year we gave people serious advice. Gold was at $1,250. We said it would go to $1,500. It did.
It was a big deal.
And I think people kind of didn't really take us seriously, and maybe
You were right, and I gave you kudos. I called and said, hey, EB was right about that call.
I think the question now is, one, what does gold do now this year? And two, how do you benefit? Because it's one thing
That is an excellent question. So what now?
Yeah.
And can we make money? How?
Well, one thing I want to point out is there's $250 trillion of debt in this world and $9.5 trillion of the gold. Okay, so that means 3.8% of gold to debt. That could easily be 5. You know, think about a bank. Some of the loans don't come back. The people buy houses that they shouldn't buy, or bridges to nowhere, all these things. Some of those loans don't get paid back. Same with the debt in the world, okay? So what if gold represents 5% of debt? That would be $2,050 per ounce. If people think about that, it's very reasonable, and the debt keeps growing and growing and growing. So I think people should see the $1,900 target that we've been talking about as the next phase, and I think it's going to attract a lot of mainstream attention. You know, so from $1,550 to $1,900 is your chance to get positioned because no one's watching. And it's the kind of bull market you want to be in.
Okay, so you think it would take to get to those old highs for mainstream media to say, oh yeah, gold again.
That's right. That's right. Then you'll see me on other...
On CNBC.
Yeah, other. I didn't want to say it, but you could say it. And that's still early in the market, right? So this is a time for you to get positioned. Well, how do you do it? I mean, you can buy a coin for $1,550 and sell it for $1,900 and make $350. The way I've chosen to do it is own royalties. I mean, when you have 250,000 ounces of gold buried in the ground, every $100 that those go up, it's an amazing amount of profit that you build into your business.
Gold staying above $1,550 now. How much of that is due, in your opinion, to the Fed repo crisis that we're really not talking enough about, but the liquidity they're injecting? Do you think is that not playing a big role?
That's a small detail. The big picture is the debt pile keeps growing. It never goes down. So it's the Fed's balance sheet growing. It's the Treasury spending $1.2 trillion more than it takes in.
But that debt pile had been growing from years ago.
The gold needs to catch up. It's going to catch up, and it probably is going to overshoot at some point. But the Iran doesn't matter when it comes to gold. This is a one little detail that's masking much bigger geopolitical negotiating.
It mattered in those 24 hours because that you saw what it did to
24 hours. I mean, I'm playing for a year. Yeah. So I mean, so China, you notice the news comes out, the gold does something, then it doesn't do anything. It doesn't matter. This is all what you have to do to make serious money is see what's going on over the course of the year, position yourself for that, and then turn off the television. Believe me, disconnect your cable. You don't need it.
But still have internet and YouTube to watch Kitco News.
It's kind of unavoidable, yeah.
So you're in physical gold.
Sure.
Okay. What about the mining stocks? So I'm going to ask you this question because I asked Brent Cook, I asked David Morgan, one out of how many of these stories are viable, are good projects, are going to be successes?
I know maybe 5. I mean,
5 out of the whole room.
Maybe 5, maybe 10. It's not that many. I ask people that come over to the royalty booth, I say, what are you doing here? I mean, our stock's up 90% a year, every year for the last 3 years. And you're over here looking at this 10-cent stock. This is going to find gold in the middle of nowhere. They're not going to find anything. So I don't understand how people are fascinated by the business of trying to go out and find something. It's very unlikely, it's very expensive, and it ends in tears.
So you don't invest in any of those companies?
The thing I think people should understand is the most lucrative legal business that I've ever found in the world is the gold royalty business. I don't know of another business, lawful business, that is, that's as lucrative. You can have a company the size of Franco-Nevada, 20 billion market cap, extremely profitable with 20 employees. It's absolutely staggering. And then every $100 gold goes up, that company's net asset value
But if
balloons.
you're so bullish gold, right? Why wouldn't you have more faith in the gold mining stocks?
Because I want to make money. I don't want to be an ideologue that is so captivated by his own delusion that he can't figure out how to make money. The whole purpose of being in this realm is to be able to position yourself before things happen. Not to be chasing a 1 in 1,000 opportunity.
Are you in U.S. stocks?
Some.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you like outside of metals?
So I think value stocks are very interesting. I mean, I bought for my kids, stocks like Campbell's Soup or Newell Brands. My children are very small, and Newell Brands owns Graco. They make strollers and car seats and all these things. And I think it's very interesting for them to grow up owning a stock like that. It's also quite cheap. It's a big dividend. But these stocks have not participated in the tech boom. So I think in the coming years, as that cycle changes, these stocks will do okay.
Should the Democrats come into power in November, would that unravel the U.S. stock market? Is that what would be the burst?
The U.S. stock market, I think, is going to go nowhere for the next 5 to 10 years. So I don't think it matters if German Shepherd were the president. It's irrelevant.
You think this is it?
I think you're going to go through a period like we went through in early 70s to 82 or something where the Dow kind of went nowhere. I mean, you have a down and then up and then down and then up, but when you look back at it, stocks will not have been a very good place to be, but they also won't crash. Okay, so they'll go up in a nominal basis, but not in a real basis.
Why do you feel this?
Because I think that there's a big incentive to maintain financial stability, to keep the dream of what America is supposed to be alive. I think it's very important for people's mindset to keep the stock market level. And I think it's going to be very difficult to send it up any higher. So I think what's going to happen is maybe the stock market goes up 3%, but inflation is 4%. You lost 1%, but you don't feel that bad about it because you think you made 3%, but you really didn't.
So do you think there's going to be a major push to keep this illusion of euphoria that everything's great?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a methadone high, which is a kind of a maintenance high. It's on a real high, yeah. So you medically maintain this.
Okay, let's talk about the PGMs, platinum, palladium, rhodium, on fire.
Yeah.
Are you liking this space?
Well, we had at a board meeting for Metalla, we talked about joking we should have gone into the palladium business, but our CEO said, look, impossible. I mean, it's a very tight market. It's hard to find royalties in this business. It's really difficult. So again, back to my original point, the whole purpose here is to make money. So I mean, palladium, yeah, if you had bought a whole bunch of physical palladium, put it in a vault somewhere, you would have made 5 times your money. But the reality is that's a challenging way to do business. Okay, you need a lot of space. You got to Kitco metals. You're getting physical deliveries from them of palladium. You got to put it somewhere. But I think the play now is how do you play gold? Because I mean, palladium companies are very complicated. It's hard to find pure play. We bought Norilsk in my newsletter, and we've done very well with it.
So how do you play gold? Let's wrap with that because Perth Mint had record sales, but the U.S. Mint recording their worst year was 2019. I believe in history. So what's North America not getting here?
Well, I mean, North America lives in a dream state. So I mean, you have to realize that people you keep them in an illusion, and there's reasons for that. You maintain stability in the society. I mean, I think something like 65% of people take prescription medication and watching television all the time. And this is not exactly like reality. So I mean, I wouldn't necessarily make my investment decisions based on what these people are doing. I think you want to look at the bigger picture that there's 6.1 billion ounces of gold in the world. They're all hoarded by someone. So it doesn't matter if Australians are buying them or Americans are buying them or Chinese are buying them. It's all the same. As people say central banks are buying them, I don't think it matters. What matters is that there's a fixed finite amount of them. And there's not going to really be much more, okay, because the supplies aren't looking good on coming forward. And so as you get this revaluation, the way to get to your question, the way to play it is, I want to play it with ounces in the ground that are tied to royalty claims so that I can have those ounces being delivered to me as the price of gold rises.
But people are going to watch this and say, of course, EB, you're saying that. You're the director of Metalla.
Right, but this is the thing. why would I buy any other stock than a stock that's up 90% per year for 3 years in a row? And this is not some wild discovery that's being made. Look at Mavericks. Look at Sandstorm. Look at Franco-Nevada. Look at Royal Gold. There's only a couple of royalty companies. That's it. So I mean, it doesn't have to be Metalla. I mean, I personally think it's the best royalty company, but I think you can buy Mavericks and be very excited about that, and you can buy all 5 of them.
Well, E.B. Tucker, I wish you continued success. Come back on the show.
All right.
And stay tuned to Kitco.com. Thanks for watching.